Hey Witches and Warlocks, I'm Ella Shockley.
And I'm Lunarine Marchese.
Welcome to this special Halloween edition of Blake Buzz. In this episode, we'll hear our fellow classmates' opinion on a famous Halloween treat.
Joelle Harris reviews the newest and final installment in the Halloween movie franchise.
We'll get a behind-the-scenes look from the Yellow Jacket football coach in this segment of Mic'd Up with Mavens.
Enjoy a short horror film to get in the Halloween spirit.
Finally, we'll have a very special guest explain the spooky history of Halloween.
All of this creeping up on
Blake Boo.
I love Kit Kat bars, Ella. What is your favorite Halloween candy?
I love 100 grand bars.
Interesting. Let's find out what our fellow students are sinking their fangs in on this week's special edition of Word on the Street.
Favorite Halloween candy and what?
Reese's, because they're obviously the best.
Candy corn.
Reese's, because that is just good.
Hershey bar.
Candy corn, because it kind of tastes like plastic.
Nerds, because it lasts long.
Anything sour because I actually don't like sweet stuff.
Snickers.
I like Reese's Pieces because they're M&Ms but without chocolate and with peanut butter instead, so it's like they're healthier, but they're not.
Nerds.
Raisins.
Skittles because I like to taste the rainbow.
Reese's.
I no longer eat candy because my birthday is the day after Halloween, so I like chips as treats on Halloween.
Fantastic.
One of my favorite activities during the spooky season is watching horror films.
Me too. I've been looking for a new movie to watch.
You're in luck because next up is a review on Halloween Ends.
Hi, I'm Joelle Harris, and today I'm reviewing Halloween Ends. This movie is divisive in many ways. I thought there was more positives than negatives, but we'll get into that. I really enjoyed how it was story-driven. We really got to see how Laurie, Allison, and all the other survivors of Halloween 2018 and Kills were doing after this 4-year time jump. I really thought that the introduction of Corey Cunningham was spot on perfect. We get to see at the beginning, right after Halloween 2018, a year later in 2019, he is accused of killing a kid, but it was an accident. And he was basically set up to be this new boogeyman. The whole town got to blaming on him and whatnot, and then he just finally snapped. Laurie has moved on after these events because it was established in Halloween Kills that Michael isn't after her. Literally in Halloween 2018, Dr. Sartain literally put Michael on the path towards her. All Michael wanted to do was go home. And Laurie in 2018 was just this eager, wanting to get after Michael. But in this film, she is laid back, she is free, and I honestly think this is the perfect and best Laurie Strode has ever been on screen. The things I really didn't like about this film was the excessive use of Michael. In this film, he really did feel like an afterthought. Felt like the writers were at the table, set up this whole Corey Cunningham story, set up the characters, character development, had like an hour and 30 minutes, and we're like, we forgot Michael. And I really thought that Michael was treated really dirty in this movie, if I'm being totally honest. You set up in Halloween Kills that Michael, every time he kills, he transcends and he's this evil force that gets too unstoppable. But in this film, it's like a weak old man. So it kind of contradicts what you set up in Halloween Kills. I thought that was a major writing flaw and a major disrespect to the character of Michael. The fight between Laurie and Michael, really, for me, it was all right. It was an all right fight. I felt that if they took Michael from Halloween Kills, this unstoppable brute, and paired it up with Laurie in this film, I think that the way Michael goes out would be satisfying for most fans, including me. But I really didn't mind how Michael went out. Laurie defeated him. They took him to the junkyard where Corey Cunningham worked and basically threw him into a meat grinder. And I really thought this film was amazing. I give it personally an 8 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching.
That movie looks spooktacular.
Speaking of spooktacular, let's see what's going on with Coach Rick in the newest edition of Mic'd Up with Mavens.
I love my players. I think If we do the right thing about our players, they'll be better citizens for this society. We need to do mentorship with our kids as much as we possibly can. It's your right here in practice. If you're not gonna do it right here in practice, your doggone sure ain't gonna do it in the game. My high school football coach played a tremendous role in my life. He really showed me how to be a man, but then also showed me how to be a good football player. Get down. Good job, Curtis. There we go. Keep your heads up. Let's go, keep your heads up. There you go. Come on, Dion, next time roll with it, baby. Unity, discipline, character.
Squad Ghouls.
Ella, have you ever wondered what really goes on behind closed doors?
Not really, but today we'll find out.
From the producers Joelle and Calden comes a short film called Test Subject. And then we'll meet a freshman with a very unique birthday.
Hey boy, just finished up in the lab. Do you want to go grab a cold one?
Yeah, boss says he wants me to check on the test subjects before I clock out. Says one of them been acting quite funny.
Well, I guess I'll just wait out here for you.
Don't be scared. Come with me.
My name is Daniel Bobette.
October 31st, you actually were born on Halloween.
Yes, I was born on just that day. A funny story about that one, actually. My mother went into labor with me on that day in the early morning on Halloween, and the doctor said she could choose to either birth me on November 1st or on Halloween, and obviously, she and my father, they both agreed to choose Halloween. So, my black cat, he's a Bombay. He's actually a British Bombay. So in terms of Halloween, when it comes to traditions, well, no, we don't really have something we stick to. We used to go trick-or-treating, but I've kind of gotten a little too old for that. Right. I mean, I'll be 15 this year. I will say, I was obsessed with Nightmare Before Christmas. I watched it 40 times once in 2 weeks. This has been great. Have a great Halloween. Don't eat too much candy.
That was quite the scare, Calden.
Why do we dress up for Halloween?
Why do we say trick or treat?
Why do we get candy?
Good thing Mr. P has the history to answer all of these mysterious questions.
Trick-or-treating has been a tradition in the United States for more than a century. But how did it get its start? The holiday can be traced back to an ancient Celtic festival called Samhain. Samhain is a pagan religious festival originating from an ancient Celtic spiritual tradition. In modern times, Samhain is celebrated from October 31st to November 1st to welcome in the harvest and usher in the dark half of the year. Some believe the barriers between the physical world and the spiritual world break down during Samhain. On that sacred night, people would gather to light bonfires and pay homage to the dead. During some Celtic celebrations of Samhain, villagers would disguise themselves in costumes made of animal skins to drive away phantom visitors. In later centuries, people began dressing as ghosts, demons, and creatures and perform antics in exchange for food and drink. This custom, known as mummying, dates back to the Middle Ages and is thought to be a precursor to trick-or-treating. In 1000 AD, the Catholic Church designated November 2nd as All Souls' Days, a time for honoring the dead. Celebrations in England resembled the Celtic festivals of Samhain, complete with bonfires and masquerades. Poor people would visit the houses of wealthy families and receive pastries called soap cakes, in exchange for a promise to pray for their dead relatives. This practice was later taken up by children who would go door to door by asking for gifts such as food and money. Although it is unknown precisely where and when the phrase trick-or-treat was first used, the custom had been firmly established in American popular culture in 1951, when trick-or-treating was depicted in the Peanuts comic strip. In 1952, Disney produced a cartoon called Trick or Treat, featuring Donald Duck and his nephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
This Halloween, live on the bright side.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Blake Buzz. We hope you have a spooktacular Halloween.
Reporting for the WBUZ, I'm Ella Shockley.
And I'm Luna Ryan Marchese.
See you next time on Blake Boo.
Boo.